Hey there, my name is Lindsay Heeger, and today I'm going to tell you the story about why I joined eXp from my independent brokerage. So in this video, I want to tell you why I moved my independent brokerage to eXp, but before I tell you the story, I want to make it clear to you that at the time that I came, I was actually not looking to move. I was perfectly content at my own brokerage. I was keeping 100% of all my commissions, not having to worry about anybody else, nobody telling me what to do. And so I was never going to leave there. I didn't think I would ever do anything except have my own brokerage. So that being said, I kind of fell into eXp by accident. So it all started when I got my Ohio license. I'm licensed in Northern Kentucky, right on the border of Cincinnati. And so I decided during COVID I was going to get my Ohio license, just in case I had, anybody looking on both sides of the river. So got my license. I had planned on opening my own brokerage across the river. My company in Kentucky was NKY Elite Real Estate. I was just going to be Cincy Elite Real Estate, have the same, logo, everything except, just the slight name change. During COVID, everything was kind of moving really slow. There was never anybody at the real estate commission to answer my questions or take phone calls. So everything over there just was way harder than it was in Kentucky. So it was just jumping through hoop after hoop after hoop. They also required me to have a brick and mortar location. And I knew that that was going to be a waste of money because I would never be there. And then ultimately the commission denied my name request. They said that I couldn't be Cincy Elite Real Estate. So long story short, I finally decided, you know what, it's too difficult to jump through all these hoops. Why don't I just hold my license at a different company in Ohio? At the time, I had just started hearing about eXp. A big agent in my local area had just moved over there, and I was a little curious. I had just started hearing the name eXp, didn't really know much about it, but I had a feeling it was going to be the next big thing just because of who I kept seeing come over there. So I looked into it, and I was just going to hold my license at eXp in Ohio, and all was going to be great with the world. So the problem is when I called to talk to someone about eXp, they said that I couldn't hold my license in Ohio with them, but keep my Kentucky license with a different company. So I was like, well, that stinks. I'm not interested, because there was no way I was giving up my brokerage I spent 9 years working on. So I actually said no, and I went to another company that would allow me to keep my Kentucky company. So I went there. I got lucky. I sold 5 houses pretty soon, right off the bat. In the back of my head, I was thinking, if I would have been at eXp, all of these 5 sales would have went to that one cap that they were talking about. But then also around that same time, I was starting to get kind of annoyed because I had 2 different emails, 2 different websites, 2 different listing presentations, 2 different business cards, because I had 2 totally separate companies. And so that's kind of when the light bulb started going off, and I started thinking maybe I should look a little bit more into this eXp thing. And so I did. I went down the whole rabbit hole. I did all the research, but I just couldn't get over the fact that I was giving up money. I was going to have to give them $16,000 when ordinarily I wasn't. I really didn't have a lot of overhead because I was a very small company. It was just myself, and I never had more than 2 agents at the same time usually, because that wasn't my goal. But the more I looked into it, the more intrigued I became. And so I did about 6 months worth of research. I ended up reaching out to Jay Kinder and Al Stasik. They are the Honey Badgers. They have tons of agents under them, and so that's who I was talking to for at least 6 to 9 months. And each phone call, I got a little bit closer to making the decision. This was a very slow process. And finally at the end of the day, I thought to myself, what's the worst that could happen? What if I go there and I absolutely hate it? I'll keep my signs, I'll just keep everything, and it'll be a very easy transition, because I was going to be able to keep my company name and just have brokered by eXp. I was going to keep my logo, my colors, my website, everything was going to be the same email. It was just gonna be brokered by eXp. So I thought, if I go there and hate it, you know, it's not the end of the world. I'll just keep everything just in case and come back. So ultimately I did decide to go, and I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna make a part 2, and in the next video, I wanna share the specifics, the exact reasons that made me wanna go. And then there was actually one thing that my sponsor finally said to me that made me think, okay, I'm doing this. This is definitely worth it. So I will see you in the next video where I will share a little bit more in detail about why I moved my independent brokerage to eXp.